Hi guys, this is Vineet, and in today's video we'll talk about the transaction log backups in SQL Server. Before we proceed ahead, I would request you guys to please go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Subscribing gives us huge motivation to create new videos for you and for other SQL professionals. Right now, if you see on the screenshot, I only have 345 subscribers on my channel along with 142 public videos. I want this subscriber count to reach somewhere near around 500 subscribers soon, and the video list is increasing day by day. I post videos every Tuesday, Thursdays and Saturdays, so keep an eye on that. You can get notification when you subscribe to my channel. So how to subscribe? There's a subscribe button below this video. Click on that subscribe button. You will get a bell notification icon. When you click on subscribe button, click on that bell notification icon, select all notifications to get notifications regarding all my future videos. On the right hand side you see a screenshot where it is showing not subscribed. That is basically showing that out of 100 subscriber, 100 people, only 4% of people are subscribing to our channel who are watching our videos. So I want all of my viewers to please subscribe to my channel. I need subscriber count at this moment. So I've already discussed about how to subscribe. There's an animation showing up on the bottom right hand side corner in the blue color, which is showing how you can like my videos, subscribe to my channel and get notified. Let's proceed ahead, and there are some points to remember. Please watch this video till the end to gain better clarity of the concept, and if possible for you, please watch this video twice. Perform any exercises in your lab or test environments only. Not touch any production environments or production databases, and we would like to know your thoughts regarding our videos, so please share your comments with us. We'd love to read them. And in case you need the PDF copy of the notes, there are two ways. PDF copy of the notes that are discussed during this video. There are two ways to get that notes. First method is by paying a nominal fee. You can get the link in the description area of this video. Check out the video description area. So you can use that link to download the PDF notes by paying a very nominal fee. And the second method is basically to get PDF notes free, which is to subscribe to my channel and send me the screenshot showing the proof of your subscription. You can get this screenshot from the bottom area of the video. So just below the video you will see a section where it shows the subscribe button. If you click on subscribe, it will show subscribed. Take a screenshot showing my channel name, the subscribe button along with the video name, and send that screenshot to me on vermavane@gmail.com. Upon getting your email, I will send the PDF notes accordingly as per the video name mentioned in the screenshot. So this is a free way to get the PDF notes for your reference later on. Now let's come back to today's topic, which is transaction log backups in SQL Server. This will be a theoretical session, it's not a practical one. I already have practical videos created on transaction log backup, so you can watch out some of my playlist. Let me discuss about these playlists. So I have around 4 playlists which are major. Apart from that, I have several other playlists as well, but these 4 are the major ones. So first one is the database design videos playlist. In this playlist you will get videos related to database design. So far this playlist contains more than 45 videos. The second playlist is the video business continuity video playlist, and this playlist basically contains videos related to disaster recovery and backups, so you can watch out this playlist. And third playlist is the playlist on indexing. You can get videos related to indexing over here. And the fourth playlist is on performance tuning, and you can find performance tuning related videos in this fourth playlist. And the fifth link is my channel link, which is youtube.com/@SQL by Vineet. So check out all these 5 links. These links are in the video description area. Now let's come back to today's topic, which is transaction log backups in SQL Server. This will be a theoretical session only. So let's move back to notes quickly. Alright guys, let's continue. So let me select my pen pointer and we will discuss the notes. Alright, so today's topic is transaction log backups. This will be a theoretical session, and this video is basically relevant only for SQL Server databases that are using the full or bulk locked recovery models. And we are discussing about backing up the transaction log of a SQL Server database. Okay, so this video is basically relevant only for SQL Server databases that are using the full or bulk locked recovery model, because transaction log backups are not available under the simple recovery model, which is the third recovery model in SQL Server. So transaction log backups are only available under the full or bulk log recovery models. So this video is relevant only for databases using these two models. Now we are discussing about backing up the transaction log of a SQL Server database. Yeah, we are. At least you must have created one full backup before you can create any log backup. So this is a prerequisite. So a full backup of a database should be taken before we create any transaction log backups for that database. And after that, any transaction log backups can be created at any time unless the log is already been backed up. Okay. Recommendation is to take a full log backup frequently, both to minimize work loss exposure and to truncate the transaction log. So it's not full log backups, but instead it's transaction log backup. So let me make some correction. So we should take frequent transaction log backups. Made the change. Let me select pen pointer again. Alright, so recommendation is to take frequent transaction log backups or transaction log backups frequently. This basically truncates the transaction log files or make it smaller, where the committed transaction gets backed up and removed from the transaction log. So your transaction log becomes smaller. So it is recommended to always take transaction log backups more frequently. And this is also useful to minimize the work loss exposure in addition to truncation of the transaction log. Now, a database administrator typically creates a full database backup occasionally. So database administrator takes full database backup very occasionally, like once in a week, so such as weekly, and optionally creates a series of differential database backups at a shorter interval, such as daily. So full backups are generally taken on a weekly basis, whereas the differential backups are taken on a daily basis. And independent of these database backups, which are full and differential database backups, the database administrator also backs up the transaction log at frequent intervals. For a given type of backup, the optimal interval depends on the factors such as the importance of the data and the size of the database and the workload of the server. So the frequency of the transaction log backups depend upon the various factors such as the how much the data is important, and what is the size of the database, and what is the workload on the server. Upon considering such factors, we determine how frequent we should take the transaction log backups. Now let's talk about the sequence of log backups here. So we have a table below showing the sequence of log backups. Now the sequence of transaction log backups log chain is independent of the data backups. So transaction log backups are basically independent of the full and differential backups. Basically the frequency is independent of them. For example, we are assuming the following series of events. So this is a table. If you take a look at this table, at 8 AM we back up the database, which is a full database backup. At noon or at 12 PM we are backing up that first transaction log. At 4 PM we are backing up the another transaction log. So there is a 4-hour gap between these two, and these two areas we have a 4-hour gap. So we are taking transaction log backups at the interval of 4 hours. And after 4 PM at 6 PM we are again backing up the database, maybe a differential backup or maybe a full database backup, I don't know, it's not mentioned. And at 8 PM we are backing up the transaction log again. So there are 3 transaction log backups at the interval of 4 hours, and apart from that we have 2 database backups on not sure I hope that they are full database backup, this one and this one, not the differential ones. Now let's read about it to get more clarity. So the transaction log backup is created at 8 p.m. This one it is talking about contains transaction log records from 4 p.m. through 8 p.m. So this 8 p.m. transaction log backup contains any of the log between this period 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. because the last transaction log backup was taken at around 4 p.m. So at 8 p.m. if we take transaction log, so it will take any of the records generated between 4 p.m. and 8 p.m. and it is basically spanning the time. So this one is spanning the time where we had taken this full database backup. So these are full database backups basically. So between these two transaction log backups, we have this full database backup sandwiched between them, and it is spanning the time when the full database backup was created at 6 p.m. Okay, so 6 p.m. we have created the full database backup. The sequence of transaction log backups is continuous. So this transaction log backup sequence is continuous, which is we are backing it up at an interval of 4 hours from the initial full database backups created at 8 a.m. to the last transaction log backup created at 8 p.m. Alright, so these are independent. We are taking it at frequent interval, and this is independent of any of the full database backups we are taking. Alright, now there are some recommendations for taking the transaction log backup. So let's discuss about these transaction log backup recommendations. Let's go through them. Now if a transaction log backup, if the transaction log is damaged, so if we come across a situation where our transaction log gets damaged, work that is performed since the most recent valid backup is lost. So any of the work that is done after the recent backup of the transaction log, we will lose that work. Therefore, we generally recommend. Therefore, the recommendation is to put your log files on a fault tolerant storage. So we should always put our log files on a fault tolerant storage. The transaction log files basically, they should be on a fault tolerant storage, so that they should not become damaged. They should not get damaged. So they should be in fault tolerant storage, because there are chances of losing some work, and we can lose some work after the last successful transaction log backup. So always put your transaction log files on a fault tolerant storage. Now if our database is damaged, now earlier we were talking about the transaction log is damaged. Now we are talking about if your database is damaged or you are about to restore the database. Now in case our whole database is damaged, or we are in a situation where we are about to restore the database, recommendation is to create a tail log backup first. So we create a tail log backup before we perform any restore operation. You can watch this process in some of my other videos. You can watch out my business continuity playlist. Link can be found in the description. There you can find the videos related to transaction log backups or doing any restore procedures. So those videos show how to take the tail log backup. So here we are just talking about the theory part. So whenever we want to perform any restores, we generally take a tail log backup, which enables us to restore the database to the current point in time. So if we take a tail log backup, we can restore our database to a current point in time. Now there's a known issue with some of the databases that are using the memory optimized tables. We will talk about them. I will create a separate video series on the memory optimized tables. So stay in tune, subscribe to my channel if you want to really learn about memory optimized tables. So subscribe to my channel. There is a button below this video. Click on that subscribe button. It will give you a bell icon. Click on bell icon, select all notifications to get notifications regarding all the future videos on memory optimized tables. Alright guys, I hope you have subscribed. Now let's continue. Now for databases with memory optimized tables, performing a transaction log backup with no recovery. So if we are using memory optimized tables and if we are doing any transaction log backups with no recovery, alright, that is basically the tail log backup, which are also known as transaction log backups with no recovery. and later executing a transaction log restore with recovery, it may result in an unresponsive database restore process. So first we are talking about the tail log backup. So for example, if our database are using the memory optimized tables, and for example our database got damaged and we take a tail log backup, and later on if we try to restore that tail log backup with the recovery procedure, it may result in an unresponsive database restore process. So database restore process will not be fine. And to basically work around this problem, the SQL Server instance can be restarted before initiating the restore process. So we should always restart the SQL service in case we are using memory optimized tables if we are doing a tail log backup and restore process. Now by default, every successful backup operation adds an entry in the SQL Server error log. So if you take a look at SQL Server error logs, if we performing any backup operation, it logs an entry there, and it also logs an entry in the system event log as well. And if you backup the log very frequently, so our backup log frequency is very often, the success messages accumulate quickly in the log files, resulting in huge error logs that can make finding the other messages difficult. Now in such situation, you can suppress these log entries. So these success messages can be suppressed in the log files and the event logs by using the trace flag 3226 if none of your scripts depend upon those entries. So we can disable this trace flag. You can use that to suppress these entries. We will talk about this later in our other videos showing practicals how to suppress the log entries for any transaction log backups. So stay in tune and do subscribe to our channel. Now take frequent log backups to support your business requirements. So we should be taking frequent log backups to support our business requirements, and specifically your tolerance for work loss, basically, such as might be caused by a damaged log storage. So in case our log storage gets damaged, so file will also be damaged if the storage gets damaged. So we should be taking frequent log backups to compensate for any work loss tolerance and that can be caused by a damaged log storage. Now let's talk about the appropriate frequency of taking log backups. So appropriate frequency for taking log backups depends on the tolerance of work loss exposure, balanced by how many log backups can be stored on the disk and managed and potentially can be restored. So that lets us in deciding how much should be the frequency of taking log backups. First is the work loss exposure, which is one of the factors, how much work loss exposure is permitted as per our organization, and we should also balance it by other factors like how many log backups we can keep in our storage, and we can manage those backups and potentially restore those backups. Sometimes it is not feasible to restore like 50 transaction log backups. So yeah, it depends upon these factors, how many transaction log or how frequent transaction log backups we should be taking. And think about the required recovery time objective. So we should think this perspective in view, the recovery time objective, how much time does it take to recover our databases by restoring the log file, and the recovery point objective should also be kept in mind when implementing your recovery strategy. Now taking a log backup every 15 to 30 minutes might be enough if your business requires that you minimize work loss exposure. Now consider taking the log backups more frequently. More frequent log backups have the added advantage of increasing the frequency of log truncation. So the more frequent we take the transaction log backups, it helps in truncating the log files which will otherwise become large, and basically the log truncation helps in resulting in smaller log files, because the log files are backed up and any of the committed entries in the log files get backed up in the backup file, and those committed entries are removed from the transaction log files. Now to limit the number of log backups that you need to restore, it is essential to routinely backup your data. So we should be taking regular backups in case we want to minimize the number of log backups that we want to restore. We should routinely perform the routine backups like the full database backup and the differential backups. For example, you might schedule a weekly full database backup and daily differential backups, database backups. So guys, we are done with this video. I hope you like this theory section on transaction log backup. If you really like it, please click on the like button. Do post us your comments. We would love to read your comments and hear your thoughts out. And apart from that, please go ahead and subscribe to my channel. There's a subscribe button below. It will hardly take few seconds. Click on the subscribe button. You will get a bell icon. Click on bell icon, select all notifications to get notifications regarding my future videos. And guys, please do share this video with your friends in case you feel that this video is useful for them as well, or if they are working in SQL Server field. And do ask them to subscribe to our channel, as I will be creating more and more videos in the next year. I have a target of creating like 1000 videos in next year. So far we have around 150 videos that are on our channel, and I release videos every Tuesdays, Thursdays and Saturdays. So keep an eye. If you are subscribed, you will get the notification. So it's essential to subscribe to my channel. So please go ahead and subscribe. I thank you so much for your time on this video ahead, and you have a wonderful day ahead.